Alright guys, welcome back to more Tiny Bunny. As of this gameplay, I beat all the 4 episodes we have thus far, and I am currently awaiting the final one. I heard it's coming out soon, so it shouldn't be that long of a wait to see what happens next, as well as the finale of this whole story. But otherwise, I gotta tell you guys, right now, let's just say things hit the fan, and it is crazy. Especially the way it ended. I like this story a lot, and I hope to see how it all comes to a head in the final chapter whenever that finally releases. So if anything else, guys, I hope you all continue to enjoy. Thank you all again for the love and support. Let's carry on. The front door was open and swayed slightly in the wind. It felt like my skin was getting covered in rime. I clenched my fists. Darkness oozed into the hallway, and snowflakes floated inside along with it, landing softly on the rug, like a pack of vultures that sensed their food. I stepped into the doorway with the utmost caution. For a moment, I thought I heard someone talking in the kitchen, but it turned out to be a radio broadcast.
Циклон, о котором мы предупреждали, движется к региону. Завтра синоптики обещают ветер с порывами до 15 метров. МЧС призвала жителей соблюдать меры предосторожности. Дороги перекрыты. Холодная воздушная масса арктического происхождения несет с собой буран.
I heard voices coming from the upper floor too. The staircase is out a long squeak. I took one step, yet my heart managed to beat 6 or 7 times in the meantime. The door to my parents' bedroom was ajar. A shadow play unfolded inside a light spot. Black silhouettes were performing a dance of hatred. Mom hissed at Dad, her wrist flying toward the ceiling, and he towered over her, his hands crossed on his huge chest.
Мы все в опасности, и все из-за тебя. И не ври, ты видел его в поселке. Он вычислил, где мы живем.
Это был не он!
Я читала в газетах, на что способны твои дружки.
I ran toward my bedroom. My parents were in the middle of another quarrel where they showered each other with mutual accusations. Dad let out a low beast-like roar.
Пусть они прекратят.
Alia stood in the corridor, pressing her little palms against her ears. I chased away the illusion where my sister was getting stabbed to death by Ramka for my sins. Her face swollen from crying made my skin freeze, and almost managed to push the image of the old carrot and smirking and Protayafan jumping on all fours out of my mind.
Что случилось? Они разведутся.
I hugged my sister and held her tight. My tongue refused to listen to my commands, to look for excuses. It felt like the screams were coming from every direction, right and left, up and down, splitting my head apart. Swear words rained down on us, so we covered our heads with our hands like refugees running from a bombing.
Я хочу уйти.
В свою комнату.
Нет. Дальше.
Oh, that's very similar to how Paulina felt.
Отведи меня в Небыляндию. Ты обещал.
I carefully unglued Alia's hands from her ears and led her away from the room with our parents, which was vibrating with malice.
Из-за тебя!
Ради кого?
In moments like these, I despised them more than they despised each other. I bolted down the door to my room and leaned against it. My knees gave way.
Почему тебя не было так долго?
Я был в гостях у одних странных людей.
Они тоже разводятся?
Не думаю.
Something hit the window's ledge on the outside. Alia shuddered and shifted her gaze toward it. Another snowball smacked into the window's frame.
Ты ждешь кого-то?
I didn't reply. Instead, I let go of her wrist. Alia wept in fear. Across the room, wincing from every shout coming from my parents, I could hear plates getting smashed now. They must have moved their argument to the kitchen. Alright, well, before that, is there anything else for me to check out here? No. I like how our eyes move. Okay. Oh, is that his friend? I flung the curtains and the window opened. Hootie, Teddy, Wolfie, and most importantly, the charming Elisa stood outside waving at us. Alia gasped in surprise when she saw the owl girl.
Я же говорила!
Да, знаю, я тебе всегда верил.
Кто они?
Her fearful voice also had some curiosity mixed in.
Чтобы в такую погоду дома сидеть, надо быть очень скучными детьми.
У нас столько игр неигранных.
Давайте только не во все игры играть, а то у меня лапка болит. По чуть-чуть, и потом отдохнем.
I mean, I'm not gonna forget he saved my life, so.
Выходите скорее, играть и танцевать!
I'm still a little iffy on them though. My heart started beating faster as soon as I saw Lisa, and my inner voice practically screamed, "She's here! She's finally here!"
Они знают, как попасть в Небыляндию?
I entertained that possibility, looking at the animal kids.
Может быть, пойдем и узнаем.
The silhouettes of my forest friends promised to free us from sadness, anger, and nightly horrors. I made sure that Alia wore warm clothes. Mom barked at Dad like a wild beast from the show with Nikolai Drozdov. And who is that? We'll find out right now, because I just realized he had a glossary. A Soviet and Russian zoologist, traveler, popular science advocate, and a TV host featuring in the Inside Animal Kingdom program. He is famous for his infectious optimism and overwhelming empathetic attitude toward animals. Interesting. Okay. We sneaked past the rumbling kitchen into the snowfall outside. Elisa ran up to me and hugged me tight, poking her cold nose into my neck.
Как же долго! Пока мы вас, домоседов, ждали, то чуть не состарились.
She pressed her body into me even harder.
Оказывается, ждать так утомительно. Фу, дайте хоть минуточку в себя прийти.
Однажды я тоже долго собиралась. А когда закончила, то и вовсе забыла куда.
Alia looked at the owl with suspicion. But she still giggled when the bird did a backflip and landed perfectly on her feet without staggering. All the other animals, as if on cue, stopped fooling around and stared at Alia in amazement.
Это же та девочка, что не хотела со мной дружить.
Меня зовут Оля. Раньше я просто тебя боялась.
Тебя испугала наша совушка?
Может быть, у нее совофобия?
А это лечится?
Главное, чтобы ребенок не боялся веселиться. Иначе с нами можно умереть от страха.
I was stunned at the realization that my lips were slowly forming a smile. And that's after everything I saw while at Polina's house. Every time I met Elisa, it felt like I crossed a river, and the sound of flowing water suppressed all of my negative thoughts.
Какие у вас красивые костюмы!
The fox girl let go of me and squatted beside Alia.
О, какая очаровашка! Антоша, почему ты прятал от нас это милое создание раньше?
I glanced at the house, worried that our parents might have seen us and were about to ruin our fun like they always do. Then hugged my sister and replied,
Давайте отойдем подальше.
Запросто! Оля, а ты знаешь, как найти в нашем лесу Деда Мороза?
Yep, another one I don't know. Grampa in the forest. Ded Moroz, a legendary figure similar to Santa Claus, hailing from Slavic mythology. He is often depicted wearing a heel-length fur coat in red or blue, a semi-round fur hat, and a pure Russian traditional winter footwear, Valenki. His face is adorned by a long white beard, and he walks with a long magic stick. He's said to bring presents to well-behaving children on New Year's Eve. Oh, interesting. My little sister's eyes widened.
Как? Нужно идти по сладкой тропинке.
Alisa bent down and took the candy out of the snow. Alia raised her hands in amazement. She gave me an inquiring look. I nodded. My sister munched the candy.
У нас что, в лесу завелся Дед Мороз? Почему, ты мне не рассказывала?
Я рассказывала. Сегодня днем.
Но ведь днем я сплю.
Ага. Вот я и рассказывала, пока ты спала.
I remembered Ramka while listening to their childish conversation. How he screamed at the top of his lungs while chasing me, mere minutes before Wolfie appeared.
Что случилось с Ромкой?
Поверь, он в порядке.
He's alright, trust me.
Жив-здоров твой Ромка. Только такой вредина, как он, вряд ли получит от Деда Мороза подарок. Максимум горсть угля.
Ну или по шапке.
See, at least Teddy's truthful. Teddy shook his bandaged paw in comically threatening manner, and the animal kids all burst out laughing in unison. The anxiousness I felt a moment ago now felt fleeting distant. I don't know. I'm still iffy on these guys. I mean, one of them did save my life, but even then, I don't know. Elisa dashed away, wiggling her red tail like a torch's flame. Alia went after her without thinking and laughed after taking another candy out of the snow pile.
Вы такие бодрые. На вас аж смотреть противно.
А ты давай не зевай. Лучше беги с нами к Деду Морозу, пока все подарки не разобрали.
Скажешь тоже. Скорее уж мне на голову свалится 3 кило конфет, чем я поверю в байки лисицы.
When the aforementioned sweets started raining down the bear's head, I couldn't stop myself from laughing at him, ouching and bobbing his head up and down. Tasty treats glistened in the snow. Teddy sneezed and pulled a little bear in the north candy out of his ear.
Я бы вздремнул часок, а уж потом пересчитал все эти шоколадки. У меня такое подозрение, что тут не больше килограмма.
Elisa shouted at us from the other side of the forest.
Не в этой жизни! Давайте скорее! Дед Мороз уже заждался нас во дворце!
I shrugged and ran, running loosened the grip of fear I felt all this time. Something round whizzed past my temple. I decided it was a snowball, but then Alia proclaimed,
Зефир!
oh, what's that one called? A type of soft confectionery popular in post-Soviet countries. It's made by whipping fruit and berry puree with sugar and egg whites with subsequent addition of a gelling agent. Its chocolate-coated variant shares the same family of treats with American Malamars, German Skukokus, and Iranian Bastani Zemistani. Interesting. I don't know what a majority of those ingredients are, but that just sounds delicious.
Не подбирай, он испачкался.
Ты что, веришь в микробов?
А ты нет?
Раньше верила.
Graceful rows of colossal pines greeted us with their rustling paws. Snow drifted upward into the endless black sky, just like last time. Snow piles lighted up like melted silver.
Как же красиво! А я думала, в лесу страшно.
Нас родители пугали лесом, снегом и совой. Ну а мы с собой играли в снежной чаще под луной.
I did my best to keep track of Alia's movement, but it was a difficult task. My sister would jump inside bushes, picking up more candy, only to then get back to the trail laughing. Oh yeah, if I were you, I'd keep a close eye on my sister. Hell, be really close to her too. Hootie flew over our heads, landed on a branch and started hooting and shaking her head. Wolfie dug into the snow with his face, dragged out a pile of bubblegum and swallowed it without taking off the wrapping.
У тебя будет несварение.
The wolf got scared and spat out the gumball.
В нет никаких несварений. Вся эта чушь случается только со взрослыми.
Alicia stopped in her tracks and moved a canopy of intertwined branches to the side in a pompous manner, like you would open the curtains in theater. Behind that obstacle lay a clearing. There stood an ice castle glistening with silver.
О, это все взаправду?
Защипнуть тебя.
Не надо ее щипать.
There's no need to pinch her. Yeah, there really isn't. We stared at the sparkling miracle. Its towers and walls were made out of snow and icy marble. I heard a calming sound of ringing little bells. This was the smell of chocolate and burnt sugar in the air.
Милости прошу к нашему шалашу.
She didn't have to invite us twice. We entered the castle spinning around and squinting from the blinding sparkles. Grandpa Frost sat atop a shining throne. Puffy pom-pom swung atop the two peaks of his hat. A snow-white beard covered his kind smile. He looked just like I imagined him back in the day when I still believed in Mom's fairy tales. Tall, strong, and hairy, radiating frost and warmth at the same time. And his voice, low and syrupy, enveloped me like the smoke of a festive bonfire.
Антон и Ольга.
Ох, и намучились же вы, ребятки, пока сюда добирались.
Что ты, дедушка? Мы быстро дошли.
My sister spoke with the castle's master like she never spoke with adults, in a lively, carefree manner, as if they were the same age.
Знаю, все знаю. Мне мои друзья докладывают. Кто был покладистым весь год, того подарок утром ждет. А кто ленился и грустил, пускай он дедушку простит. Лентяем и грустяем конфет не запасаем.
А я не ленилась.
И о том знаю.
He gave us a long, evaluating look. His real face was hidden under the Grandpa Frost mask. I was just standing there, unblinking, my gaze glued to the old man. I could accept children living in the forest and fantastical jumps toward the moon, but seeing Grandpa Frost in his frozen castle left me completely speechless.
Есть у меня для вас кое-что особенное.
See, I can't help but feel like this is all a trick, still. A sack appeared in his giant hand. My nostrils got attacked by the aroma of cocoa, halva, and tangerines. Alright, I do know cocoa and tangerines, but I don't know what a halva is, which is a confectionery that originated from Persia, usually consisting of a thick paste made from flour, butter, liquid oil, saffron, rosewater, milk, cocoa powder, and sweetened with sugar. Okay, interesting.
Спасибо, но мы уже ели конфеты.
Grandpa Frost pierced me with his eyes.
Разве то конфеты были? Так, одно название. Вот у меня конфеты волшебные, прямиком из Небыляндии привезенные.
Man, it would suck so much if there was someone evil under that mask.
Из Небыляндии?
Сразу бы вам их дал. Заслужили. Но есть правила. Надобно вам 3 дедушкины загадки отгадать. Попробуйте.
I tried splitting my parched lips apart, but Alia was the first to reply.
Тогда слушайте первую. В нем живут машины и хранятся шины.
I looked around at the masked children. They stood without moving in the corners, but their shadows danced on the walls. I heard a low hum, and in my confusion, I thought it was the sound of their rumbling stomachs.
Гараж!
Верно. Теперь вторая загадка. Подключайся, Антон. Весь день ходит, как тень. посудой гремит, на всех шипит.
My eyebrows shot up in confusion.
Мама?
Alia raised her hand.
Можно я? Можно я? Это кошка!
Верно! Хо-хо! Осталась последняя загадка, и подарки ваши. Только вот незадача, ребятушки. Запамятовал я, о чем же была эта загадка. А может, наши друзья-зверята нам подскажут?
Children in costumes surrounded us, laughing and stomping, only to start spinning in a crazed roundelay. It somewhat reminded me of the dance under my window on that fateful night.
Дед Мороз сидит на троне, пряча в бороду смешок. Не томи нас слишком долго, развяжи скорей.
Мешок!
Убедили старика. Получайте.
He scattered a mountain of sweets from his scarlet sack, some of which I had never even seen in commercials before. Bubblegum of all shapes and colors with tasty aromas and inserts sticking out. Lollipops the size of a fist, and tangerines the size of Alia's head. And also Snickers, Mars, Bounty Bars, and kinder surprise eggs that we haven't eaten for so long already.
Ой, спасибо!
Instead of Twixie or Twixie, Wookie May. I wiped away the tears of joy with my sleeve when my inner voice persuaded me to get rid of all doubts. This is exactly what I want for my sister and myself. The true Neverland, without bullying and taboos. We're finally gonna be happy. And this is where that happiness fades, right? Grandpa Frost strained up as he left his throne and threw his hands in the air over the treats. Animals that stood to his sides also raised their paws. Their eyes sparkled brighter than precious gems. The wolf's maw was wet with saliva.
Да будет пир на весь мир!
Animal kids rushed to devour candy one by one, pushing each other and growling. Their faces were smeared with something dark. Alia grabbed the closest candy and tore off the wrapper. When I saw that, I felt a pendulum swing inside me. Uh-oh. Yup. Yup. That pendulum is right. Great instincts. We should probably not. I know, Alia. I know. But something tells me we shouldn't eat this. Should probably be cool. Look how happy she is, though. She'll feel so down if I don't. But my gut instinct is to tell me to refuse this. This is too weird. I gripped Alia's wrist so hard that she squeaked, either from pain or from surprise.
Ешь.
Cautious whispers spread through the room. Ears twitched from the masks. Shadows slid from one place to another.
Что такое? Что случилось?
Ничего страшного. Просто Тоша верит в несуществующий диабет.
Россказни родителей. Разбудите меня, когда он перестанет валять дурака.
Grandpa Frost leaned into me. He smelled of caramel, just a tiny bit of dampness.
Давайте не будем портить праздник, друзья. Сегодня каждый должен веселиться. Ешьте и пляшите!
Alia tried to pull her hand away, but I kept it in my clutches. Smart play. I looked at the sweets, then at the tall old man, and tried to focus on a barely discernible stench coming from him. The stench of rot and decay, masked with a sugary aroma. The foul smell of a beast. I figured. I was right. It felt like I was finally able to shrug off some strong delusion. Fear, exhaustion, and coldness returned to me.
Спасибо, но мы сыты. И мы пойдем, наверное. Мама с папой переживают уже.
Uh-oh. I dragged my sister toward the exit, but Elisa stood in our path. Oh god, those look like worms. She had a china platter in her hands. Yep. For a brief moment, I imagined maggots crawling inside it, but as soon as my eyes darted toward the offering, I saw gummy worms instead of vomit-inducing writhing ball of living ones.
Прошу, Антон. Мы же друзья, правда? Мы даже больше, чем друзья. Вспомни, что я обещала. Никто не причинит тебе зла, пока я рядом.
Can we still be friends without you having to feed me, strange, lively food?
Ни тебе, ни Оле. Так что съешь, пожалуйста, всего одну.
Oh, hell no. Sorry, no.
Съешь, а?
Антон, пусти! Ну пусти! Теперь и ты все мне запрещаешь, прям как мама!
Alia convulsed hysterically, trying to free herself from my clutches.
Это неправильно. Все здесь какое-то неправильное.
Вот как? А ты не задумывался, что из неправильного тут только твое мировоззрение? Как ты думаешь, что делают те таблетки, которые ты глотаешь круглые сутки, м? Они искажают реальность, путают мысли, уводят тебя со снежной тропинки.
I looked at Elisa with suspicion, searching for a comeback, but I couldn't find one. I remembered Volva's bloody mitten and Semyon's severed finger inside a small plastic bag. All that was just an illusion.
Кто вы?
А на кого мы похожи?
Like nightmares that ravaged my sick mind.
С нами вас никто больше не накажет, не запрет в комнате, не бросит в одиночестве. Отныне никто не заставит вас делать то, что вам не хочется.
Откуда вы знаете, чего нам не хочется?
The old man rubbed Wolfie, who was munching loudly behind the ear.
Я знаю. Мне шепчут ветра и тени, холодные звезды и безграничные небеса. Они говорят, что дети не хотят взрослеть, превращаться в тех, кто живет запретами, угрозами, наказаниями,
His voice grew louder and louder with every word.
ожиданием старости и смерти. Дети живут мечтами. О, я отлично знаю детские мечты о счастливой и беззаботной жизни. Той, в которой есть чудеса и дикая свобода.
His voice rang like thunder. It made all hair in my head stand on end.
Все это будет вашим, стоит только захотеть, стоит только попросить.
Yeah, that sounds seedy already. And then he whispered.
Стоит только согласиться.
See, you don't sound like Santa anymore.
Согласиться.
Oh no! Alia! Alia repeated after him like an echo, as if enchanted.
Да, моя дорогая. Вкусить это.
The old man pointed toward the fox
Я
girl.
прошу тебя, ради всех нас, ради меня, ради сестры. Зайчик, отведай хотя бы кусочек. И тогда ты все поймешь.
We're doing this again. Something tells me I'm gonna get a bad end if I don't partake, but I also don't like the fact that he also kind of brainwashed my sister. Look at that. It's so colorful. Maggots. You see? You see? You see this? You see this? Yeah, so if I refuse this, then I'm seeing the truth, right? Like, why? Oh, God, I hate this so much. Who are you guys? I felt like chilling winds blew from the cavities of her eyes, from the dark holes of other beasts, and the towering old man's too. The owl's face twitched nervously. The wolf's maw dripped with saliva. The bear shuffled his feet. Any trace of sleepiness gone from his face. And from behind us towered the one who pretended to be Grandpa Frost all this time.
Я сказал, мы уходим.
Oh, I retained my humanity. I gripped my sister's hand even tighter. Candy slipped out of her fingers and smacked against the floor. Alia started looking around frightened.
Я сказал, мы уходим.
Elisa parroted me, and despite everything, I felt immense anger.
Ну какой же ты все-таки дурачок.
Uh-oh. I heard the flute's melody, but now it reminded me of a cracking whip or even agonized convulsions of a fish that was thrown out to the ice. Music dangled about, striking at my ears. And then the crystal castle was filled with cries of children that slowly turned to beastly howls, intermingled with the sounds of crunching bones and ripping skin. The china platter filled to the brim with maggots smashed into tiny pieces. Whoa, hey. Holy hell. Alice's orange coat ripped at the seams, letting out a cloud of foul-smelling fog. Her twisted face buried its teeth and the stench attacked my nostrils again. The fox screamed, blood streaming down her cheeks like tears, making her fur sticky. Her bone-naked tail whipped against the walls with its vertebrae. I shielded my crying sister. Horror drilled into my stomach, rushed through my guts and rose up to my throat. I felt the urge to tear off my glasses and lose sight. I wanted to squeeze my eyes shut and go blind forever. I turned to face the owl, and my face contorted from disgust. Worms wiggled inside her mask, feathers. The rotten beak snapped like garden scissors. I staggered back and barely avoided bumping into the wolf. His face was stretching out, his bones crunched. Teeth poked out of his festering gums like shards of broken glass, and his swollen tongue kept on tirelessly licking them. At the edge of my vision, I saw the bear block our passage. Every inch of his bloody ooze scarlet ichor larvae clogged his teary eyes. I pulled the shocked Alia close, looking for an exit in panic. My foot ended up in a pile of sweets, but those were no longer candy. Oh, it's a good thing I didn't eat that. Human remains blanketed the floor. Ribs and shreds of meat on them, and torn out jaws. A toothed necklace and moss covered pelvic bones. Tiny skulls and scalps swimming in a sea of blood. Alright, who are you? The horned monstrosity towered over me, clutching bone fluid in its long clawed fingers. A giant goat that shed his kind old man form. Completely black, emanating hatred and malice. He scorched me with red-hot coals inside his eye cavities. His horn scraped against the ceiling. Oh man, this is real territory, huh? Ice cracked and thawed, dripping down, forming muddy pools of water, bearing metal walls that were hidden underneath it. I realized that we were doomed inside this cramped room of a dungeon, surrounded by howling beasts. All I could do was hug my sister even tighter, and watch how the circle around us shrank, how ugly paws reached out to us from behind the veil of a bloody fog.
Постой, хозяин, я разорву их на части. Я вырву их глазные яблоки и трахну их в сочащиеся раны.
I don't like any of this. Can we get the hell out? The growling wolf's maw snapped like a bear trap, splattering thick white foam toward us. But he was immediately pushed away by the rotting bear carcass.
Мой черед веселился. Как же я утомился слушать их сраный гундёж. Я живьем сорву кожу с этой грёбаной козявки прямо на глазах ее братца. Я заставлю его съесть собственную сестру. Накормлю его досыта ее потрохами.
That's not kosher.
Пожалуйста, хозяин.
It felt like his face was about to tear apart, crack like an eggshell, laying out something even more sinister, nasty, scary. Gnarly owl claws grabbed at the grinning bear, stopping it from getting close.
Лапы прочь! кричат девчонки.
The cackling zoo formed a furball that started rolling in guts and thought fat. They howled, fought with each other, tore out scrapes of fur and feathers, ready to rip each other apart like a pack of hungry dogs fighting for leftovers. A sudden squeal of the flute pulled them apart as if someone tugged at their leashes. The master of this pack charmed the monsters with his soul-rending music, turning them into unmoving, silent marionettes that faithfully awaited his commands. The goat stopped nibbling on his shin-bone flute. Its devilish melody that sounded like a chorus of children being run over by a steamroller went silent for one last time. A chunk of raw human flesh plopped beside my shaking feet. Consumed by fear, I turned toward Alia. She lay by the wayside, covered in pink snow. Just like Sleeping Beauty in that cartoon. She probably lost consciousness from his soul-rending spectacle. I wanted to wail, to go mad, to die quickly and painlessly, right there and now. But alas, I couldn't. I was still inside this torture chamber, choosing between a gruesome end inside the monster's stomachs and cannibalism. Woolen meat grinders kept on staring at me with their greedy, infinitely hungry eyes, ready to gnaw at my bones before eventually eating them if I dare refuse their master's offer. But if I was to agree, I'm sure I would lose my free will just like them. I'll turn into a perpetually hungry monster that dances to the tune of a bloodthirsty madman, and I'll surely lead Alia and all those who I hold dear to their deaths. My lips trembled. A feeling of nausea turned my stomach inside out, but somehow I found the strength to scream.
Никогда и ни за что! Я человек!
Those words could be later used as my epitaph, but I knew that my remains were destined to never be found. My surroundings went dead silent.
Ешьте их! Пейте их! Рвите на части!
Drag your sister out now! The horned shadow consumed us.
Сладкое мясо!
Elisa rushed to the goat and stood between us, ridiculously tiny compared to the giant monster. Her tail dragged after her, leaving behind a scarlet trail. Fleas jumped around her back and the bones sticking out of it.
Подожди! Не спеши так! Не стоит! Зайчик нам еще пригодится! Зайчик нас покормит! Вкусненько! Для медведя и лисы! Зайчик кушать принеси!
Where did these beings come from? Flames inside his eye socket stopped trembling. Still dolls bared their teeth in anger.
Разве это зайчик? Разорвать и сожрать! Самозванец! Кожаный мешок стребухай! Заткнитесь, пустомели! Разве вы не чуете? Разве вы не помните? Когда он чуть не укусил луну на снежной поляне.
The cannibals went silent, swallowing saliva in disappointment. Elisa, in the meantime, took a sharp turn and returned to the form of a cute child with a fox mask on that I met the first time on January morning. She glided toward me, dissolving the horrors around us with the smell of tangerines, firecrackers, and magic. Her soft paws touched my cheeks, removing a sticky strand of hair from my forehead. Elisa embraced me and whispered in a sweet voice.
Тоша, ты хочешь спастись?
I stayed silent, gritting my teeth. I was afraid to look away, afraid that this fleeting illusion could get shattered.
Мой милый, скажи, ты хочешь спасти свою сестру?
Tears sprayed from my eyes as I wept.
Да!
I continued to sniffle and shake, grabbing at the hem of the fox girl's long coat.
Скажи громче, чтобы все слышали.
I swear you better not tell me to bring Paulina over so you can eat her. Delirious from sorrow, I screamed, my face awash with tears.
Да!
My mouth was immediately filled with the metallic— Oh god, no! The fox black fingers kept pushing a chunk of human flesh deeper down my throat. I fell to my knees, coughing out blood, unable to vomit it out. Rotting carcasses of animals surrounded me once again.
Развод, хозяин, я откушу от девчонки самую малость.
Ah, she has this on her thing. Boiling anger swallowed up my mind. Something foreign and permanent burst forth, pounced from inside me. Uh-oh.
Только попробуй, и я вырву твой поганый язык и засуну глубоко в клаку, ты безмозглая курица!
The ominous owl jumped away in surprise, accompanied by the fox's cackling. My voice went out, and then I bent in half. Vomit poured out of my mouth, along with the part of the treat that I wasn't able to regurgitate. His finger poked me. I felt like a knife was lodged handle deep inside my solar plexus.
Добудь к следующей ночи мясо, а иначе...
Иначе!
At least I silently stepped into the shadows, and the goat put his foul-smelling maw right into my face and roared.
Иначе мы съели всю твою семью.
He knocked his hoof against the floor, and I ran for my life, forgetting about everything else. Your sister? I heard a scream at my back will eat you up alive. Shards of ice fell on my shoulders, dead villains frozen inside them. I managed to break free to the place where pines moved their branches and showered me with snow, like cooks, sprinkling salt on porridge. The wind tore at my hair. I turned around and froze over. The garage was disappearing right in front of me, dissolving in layers, becoming dim and then transparent before the gust of wind finally swept away the phantom black walls. Only then did I realize I let go of my sister a long time ago, and she was left behind in the monster's den. There was only a giant snow pile left in place of the castle. A girl's wrist poked out of it, like a cross would poke out of a burial mound. Terrified, I rushed over to the snow pile and started digging. Oh, thank goodness. Alia's pale face along with one of her shoulders appeared from under the white mess. Her bluish lips trembled. She's alive.
Я сейчас!
I continued digging and prayed for her to hang on. At some point, I was able to see her stomach. Her voice was faint.
Ничего. Отнесу тебя домой, согрею, шоколадом напою. Ты только не засыпай, слышишь? Ты только...
My fingers came across something sticky and hot. I cleared out more snow. It turned red and mushy.
Что это? Что это?
I gulped.
Почему ты не отвечаешь?
How could I tell her? Alia's body didn't exist below the stomach. Rings of guts fell out of the... No! Oh crap, you didn't have to show her that. Alia tilted her head and stared at the horrifying scraps.